How's everybody doing? It is Paul from Magpie 24/7, out and about on a Sunday. On a Sunday, Mr. No Days Off, with yet another view from the van, looking back at Newcastle United, and yeah, looking a little bit forward as well. Namely the friendly victory over Doncaster 3-2, and looking forward to the Rotherham game coming up on Tuesday night. I was at the Doncaster game, I'll be at the Rotherham game. Met a few people from the page who follow the page and who subscribed and everything. That was absolutely fantastic. Have a bit of a chat, a bit of a crack on about what was going to be coming up and all the issues and problems and takeovers and all that sort of thing. We had a good natter and a big sort of whinge, and yes, it was a good way to vent before we got to the stadium, so that was fantastic. But yeah, looking forward to seeing many more, hopefully, on the game at the New York Stadium against Rotherham. Looking forward to that Tuesday night. Spot on. But yeah, back to the game that took place also in South Yorkshire against Doncaster, which Newcastle ran out 3-2 victors. I said I would have liked to have seen a move away from the 3 at the back, or the 5 at the back system, the wing back system, but we were certainly a lot better with the ball and a lot more energetic and stuff. I thought Jacob Murphy was absolutely sort of top draws, top dog, you know what I mean, in lots and lots of ways. Really energetic, helped out the formation no end, because I don't like to see 5 at the back with you know what is really 2 older midfielders, so 7 defending in any team, because I think it invites pressure on, and I don't think it makes you as attacking and potent at the other end as what you need to be when you're trying to win football games. And I thought it was a perfect chance to experiment, and when I first came out I could make an argument for 4 at the back, but it very much was a 5 at the back. And again, it reeks of another season of trying not to lose instead of like going out to win games, if you know what I mean. But yeah, 5 at the back it was, and I must say it was a much better performance than what we saw against York, clearly, because the scoreline suggests so as well. But Newcastle in the early stages were all over them like a fly round shit, they really were. Newcastle had them penned back, and we were pretty much peppering the goal, knocking the ball around nicely. Alan St. Maximum involved in lots of good stuff, taking the piss a bit, entertaining the crowd. 3,300 or whatever Newcastle supporters packed into the away end, selling out pretty much the allocation. In the home stands, about another 3,000 across the other 3 stands. Not the loudest bunch that you'll ever hear, to be honest. I mean, we're talking Emirates-esque, to be honest. It was that level of quiet. In fact, it reminded me a bit of when we went to see Spurs at Wembley when they were residing there, and I remember commenting how the atmosphere was shit, absolutely shit. Well, the atmosphere was shit there. Obviously, not too many fans. You only slightly heard them when they scored. I mean, slightly for about 2 seconds, and that was it. And to be fair, they scored. I still feel as if the goalkeeper, I don't really want to jump on him because he's a young kid being thrown in, Dan Langley, and he looks the part and stuff, local and everything. But did he shout himself in greatness and made you think, well, actually, we've got another option there? To me, sorry, no, he didn't. He gets down to the first one, everything seemed to be a bit in slow motion. The second one, no, not for me. I wouldn't expect a Darlow, a Woodman, a Dubravka, a Gillespie to be beaten like that, I'm afraid. So it's not been overly negative on the lad. I just thought that the 2 goals were avoidable today, in all honesty, and it certainly gave a lot more shine to the game from their perspective, because it was like literally they had 2 shots on target or something, and then they scored off both. They didn't do much in the game, yet they did register 2 goals, which is always a strange one. But Newcastle, on the other hand, looked as if they wanted to. They were never out of second gear, don't get me wrong, but they could have had gears to go up, and they could have, you know, perhaps piled the mist on a little bit more. Callum Wilson as well, especially in the first half, he was working their defence tirelessly, and he was prodding and he was poking and he was asking questions, but he was ultimately being frustrated. You could see him banging the floor, banging the post and stuff like that. But he did get his goal as well. The 3 goals, Ryan Fraser, fantastic. Let's hope this is a sign of things to come with Ryan Fraser, because we saw shite all from him last season. Let's be honest. Injured all the time, out of form, not used, benched. But today he came on, he looked bright, positive, and the goal is absolutely fantastic. Basically a thundercunt is the best way to describe it. Smacks the bastard, it flies into the back of the net, and you're like, happy days. Newcastle leading after what, 9-10 minutes, something like that. It wasn't very long. And then just looking at the Newcastle side of it, the second goal, Alan Saint-Maximin, who enjoyed taking the piss virtually for the entirety of the time he was on. I think he was on maybe about an hour, something like that. He was taking the piss, he was doing the tricks and the turns as the fans shouted his name and serenaded him all over the park. He goes on a fantastic little run, and it's finished off. It's toe poked in, it's diverted into the goal by Sean Longstaff, given a rare opportunity to be honest, by Brucey. But he's at right place, right time, and yet again I will say it, and I've said it since he's made his debut and been in the ups and downs and stuff. This lad is better when he's in the opposition's box. He's like, in the same way that Joe Willock likes to be able to operate, Joe Willock likes to be able to get from deep and run. Sean just likes to be on the edge of that box, so when something's dropping, he can be a fox in the box and try and get shots away on target and that sort of thing. Think of the cup goal that he scored, I think it was against Oxford. He likes to be in that position. He's not a deeper player, and when you play him deeper, he looks exposed. He doesn't look the same player subsequently, in my book, than what he does when he's playing in this position further forward. And he played in various roles as the game went on because of the substitutions and stuff. Obviously they get their goal back. Newcastle then, through Callum Wilson, gets another one, and it's a beauty of a team goal. Nice few touches, keeping the ball in, recycling it, working hard for each other, gets the ball forward. I'm sort of screaming to play the ball left. You see Callum Wilson stood there though, and they're like, you're going to play it right? Plays it right, bang! Straight away. Lovely goal from a Newcastle perspective. Well worked, well fought back, nice finish. But then obviously their finish tonight by getting another goal back. They didn't deserve the 2 goals. Not really too fussed. I was more wanting Newcastle to put on a little bit of show for the hordes who followed. Like I say, when the away support's more than the home support. And the away end, I have seen Newcastle up and down, left and right throughout the place. That was actually one of the best away atmospheres in a long time. And I've seen there's some crazy shit that's gone on, like when Lejeune scored twice against Everton at the end. That I thought was mental at the end. But today, just on pure amount of time that the fans we would never stop and singing. Some of the old classics. Shola song came out. 1-0 down, 4-1 up was coming out. Shearer was being sung for. You name it, Andy O'Brien, all of the classics were coming back out and being sung by the faithful. It really wasn't. And on top of that, Wilson being serenaded, Alan Saint-Maximin being serenaded. It was fantastic, and it was just a wall of noise. I would say for like 90% of the entire match. They just never ever stopped singing. You could see it was a party atmosphere, fans back at an away ground for the first time in what feels like for fucking ever. It was great, it was friendly. When we came out after the match, there was no trouble, no nothing. People getting onto coaches, people making their way back home. Coming on, Newcastle was being blasted out by some cars, laughing, joking, lots of good stuff. And it was a great time had by all, I think, who was there, myself included. I really enjoyed the entire experience and stuff like that as well. Went on with a smile on my face, Newcastle winning, but more importantly, playing a little bit of football, giving you a little bit of hope and optimism in what has been a sea of shit. And this is the mark of Newcastle fans. No takeover, no transfer budget. Steve Bruce still, Mike Ashley still, Lee Charnley, all of them all of the issues that come with it, the shite that we've had to put up with, constantly fighting against relegation, time after time after time again, the lack of progress in cups, everything, having to fight the Premier League, having to fight government, having to fight literally for every scrap that we get, and yet still the away end is absolutely bouncing. It's just to me a mark of the supporters, and you know, you just don't see it elsewhere, do you? You do not see it elsewhere. And if ever there's a fan base that deserves a little bit of something, it has got to be the Newcastle faithful. It really is. So proud to be a part of that 3,500. So proud to be a part of the supporting side of the club. Some of the other stuff that the club does is shocking. The Mike Ashley stuff, the Lee Charnley stuff, all of that is absolutely shocking. But that side, the supporter side, everything to do with the fans, is a joy to behold, and it's a wonder and it's amazement, and it goes against all sorts of logic and this, that, and the other. But yeah, it was great. Totally loved it, and I hope that you checked the vlog out and supported that and stuff as well. Now we're back to it though, because we've got another game coming up, pretty quick doors, as the missus keeps reminding me, and that's against Rotherham on Tuesday at the New York Stadium, a stadium yours truly is actually managed in. Yes, I probably did a better job than Steve Bruce, but through some of my previous life work, I was managing a team there, and yeah, did well. So pressure's on, Bruce. Can you live up to expectations? Hoping for another step up in performance, again a few more Newcastle goals, a few nice spots from the players and stuff like that would be lovely and stuff as well. Fingers crossed that we get a goalkeeper back, whether it's Woodman, Gillespie, Darlow, who may miss the start of the season. That's the other bit of bad news at the moment. Yes, he's got COVID, yes, he'll be coming out of that, but it's the effects of COVID, and I think he's struggling a little bit, Carl Darlow, with the recuperation. I think it's taken him out physically, a bit like it did with Alan St Maximin. So it could be that we don't see Darlow and we don't see Dubravka at the start of the season, and it could be Woodman or Gillespie who's first choice keeper for Newcastle in that opening game against the Hammers, coming up in a few weeks time. Transfers, what fucking transfers? Steve Bruce coming out, said he's not going to bullshit the supporters, not going to talk bollocks and stuff to them. Well, it's funny that, because you've been doing it for fucking ages, you absolute bastard fucking head case. But it says there's literally about £2.50 in the fucking transfer budget, but yet still somehow we are being strongly linked with getting Joe Willock on some sort of magical deal. I don't know how. He talked about it being Arsenal, again, Arsenal's player, and we've got to be patient and wait till all the big teams have done our business, and we can just pick up on the scraps, basically. It's what I mean, that the fans represent the club in such a glorious way. The management and the ownership make us look like God, like scavengers going through the skip or something like that. That's how they make the club look and represent. But he's getting talked about loans, free transfers, anything at all he can do to strengthen the team. He's talking about Mutu as well. They're trying to find something for Mutu. If they let Mutu go on top of Carroll, then surely to God, despite again the protestations on social media, they've got to sign an attacker, because who else have we got? We've got Wilson, we've got Gale. Wilson picks up the odd knock. Gale will definitely be injured this season. That's my promise to you. He will be injured because he is Mr. Sick Note. He does like a few weeks off. Then what have you got? Because if we lose Wilson for any amount of time, and you're only relying on Gale, then you're shit creek without a fucking paddle at all in my book. You've got Tom Allen in the reserve. Sorensen, he's going to be off, so he's out of the question. No, I'm not liking what's left. I'm not including Joe Linton there. He can play there, but is he a striker? He's not a striker. That's why they took the 9 off him and given him the 7. He is not a striker. He's never been a striker. So I think we've got to go out. We've got to get another striker in. I think we'll allow 2 domestic loans. So there's going to be some shenanigans and some workings. 2 or 3 irons in the fire allegedly, but I'll believe it when I fucking see it, to be honest. But yeah, looking forward to Tuesday again. Again, it's more about the social side of it than the actual promise of good football. Fingers crossed we get entertained, we see a few goals and we get a Newcastle victory, and we have lots of singing, screaming and all that sort of good stuff as well. So yeah, that's how it goes at the moment. Nothing on the takeover front, nothing on the cat case really that's came out of any significance, despite again what certain journalists were saying earlier in the week that something would come out this week with regards to that. Nothing has up till this point. Disappointing, because I can see the logic behind getting this case done, getting as much juicy stuff as possible to be able to use on top of a win, hopefully, in the upcoming arbitration process, which will be in early next year. But apart from that, nothing at all. Still no Newcastle new signings. We still seem to be losing 1 or 2. Florian Lejeune, he has left the club semi-gutted, because for what we've got paid for him, could we not have utilised him better? Or is this a plan to get Callum Watts more game time this season? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Yeah, so that is basically it at the moment. Not a great deal to get your teeth into on the players side of it, but with only a few weeks to go before the season starts, surely the goddamn Lee Charlie needs to pull his finger out of his ass and get some fucking work done. Let me know what you think. Will we sign anybody? Who we're signing? Who do we need to sign? Are you looking forward to the Rotherham game? Are you going to the Rotherham game? And what's your expectations on that one that's coming up very, very shortly? Anyway, in the meantime, take care. I want to get back to work. Keep it tuned, and I'll speak to you later.